Okay, so I'm gonna clap us in and introduce you and pretend to be awake. So try to get like this light switch method, right? Yeah. So this is Ephraim, and I'm pronouncing that correctly, right?
With the M at the end.
Ephraim.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So, and you're Boon Boona Coffee, basically, and you've been here for 6 years.
5
years.
2018 June is when came into this space.
Okay.
And started to build out shortly there. Right after that, basically, and we opened January 2019.
So we've compiled a list about 40 questions.
Okay, let's go.
And I'm totally kidding. It's 3.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay, so first question we like to ask everyone is, how long has this been your passion?
Oh, 2011.
2011, just like that.
Yeah.
Easy answer. All right, next question.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
If you had a little bit more than just 2011.
Yeah, 2011, I took a trip to Eritrea in East Africa, saw the coffee culture there, even though I grew up here with all the coffee we have around us. They do it a little different there, and I want to see some of that. It's more about the ambiance, the feel. They would also roast their coffee right there too, so
I haven't seen that before in any coffee shop.
Oh,
they
really?
just do it at the shop.
There's a lot of roasters who, especially in our case, we're small, and so this is the most efficient way to kind of do it. Some have a much smaller roaster, some have a bigger roaster inside their spaces, and then they have the cafe part. Obviously there's the reserve that does that. And
do you sell to other cafes and drive-through shops your beans?
Yeah, we definitely do. There's quite a few cafes that we do send our coffee to, both locally here and then throughout the country, as well as grocery store, QFC, and Central Co-op, and stuff like that.
Our space is just a building over, and I think we can tell when you're roasting.
Yeah.
Because we're like,
you smell it.
Ephraim's roasting.
Yeah.
So you see how like this is the greatest way, like that one question can like just right. So it wasn't 40 questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question we have, which is my personal favorite, is when did you make your first dollar?
Oh,
and do you have it on your wall?
No, I don't. But I remember the first dollar that I made, and it was a 5-pound bag of green coffee, which is the raw, coffee.
Just straight
and
up
it was
coffee.
To one of my aunties.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So in 2011 when you started this, you had that gap to the first dollar because you were testing and figuring out.
No, I mean honestly, 2011, I came back after a trip to Eritrea. I came back and I was thinking about what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do this right here, like what we have here in Renton. By 2012, I incorporated, and then I started reaching out to family in Ethiopia to source.
Gotcha.
And they would send me samples, and I get to play with coffee.
That's just crazy. Like every time I hear those stories, it's like, like there's always that moment where it's just like, boom, done, going. Which ironically is the next question.
No.
So the third and final that we have is when. So you kind of already answered it more or less, but you had that point where like you were just like, and I've had this point too, where it's like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then just.
I would say that the trip definitely triggered the whole entire passion for coffee, and started to think about how I wanted to differentiate myself, or what I wanted to do, what the approach was. I didn't feel like I had that hey, even though I was doing green coffee, it wasn't necessarily the goal that I had intended. Basically, I think that I'm doing it, nothing's gonna stop me, was 2016, the beginning of 2016, and I was working for Amazon at the time, and I was working crazy hours, and I said I quit. This is where your passion is at, this is where your heart's at, you need to figure it out, and you need to spend time, and that's what you gotta do, you gotta spend time on it.
Yeah, don't we know, right?
Yeah.
Just constant time. I think we work about 38 hours a day or something like that. Ironically not at 6:30 a.m., but.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, we have the last you know, I said it was the last one, but the last cliche question,
no,
it's
it's all good.
really fun and dumb, but you know, what you would hear from everyone doing any sort of interview style
Yeah.
is, what would you be doing if you weren't doing this? And beaches and family are not allowed.
Man, like, so when I was a kid, I remember my dad used to always hype up, you know, being back in the village and you know, just, you know, having livestock animals.
Back
and
in
working
Africa?
Yeah, back in Eritrea, yeah.
Okay.
And in the cut, in the village, you know.
It's just bleeding into like more like family though.
Yeah, but I remember at school one day they asked, you know, what would you know, want to do when you grow up? I'm like, yo, I want to be a goat herder.
There you go.
So
if we're not
if
working
I'm
on
not doing
coffee,
I'm
we're
gonna be a
herding
goat
goats.
herder back in my village in Eritrea. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a very labor-intensive work.
Oh
It
yeah,
is-
for sure,
yeah.
for sure.
I mean, yeah, it's not a cushy job for sure, but
All right, well, thanks again for
no, without a doubt.
like talking with us. We're gonna get some B-roll
Let's go.
and make sure this place looks awesome, and
Sounds
we'll
great.
go from there. So,
All right, perfect.
all right.
Appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
of course.
Thank you for waking up early for this.
Yeah, you're welcome. I did actually want to ask you, when do you guys normally cook the beans?
Roast coffee?
Yeah.